All right, so picture this. Good job. Decent salary, nice car in the driveway, a house that looks exactly like success is supposed to look. And every single month, right around the same time, the bank account hits zero. Sometimes it goes negative before the next paycheck even lands. Sound familiar? Here's the part that's going to mess with your head a little. This isn't a math problem. If it was just math, more income would fix it. But it doesn't. Because this is actually a brain problem. Your brain has been quietly rewired to treat money available as money that's basically already spent. And until you see exactly how that happens, no raise, no promotion, no bonus is ever going to feel like enough. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact 3 psychological traps keeping you stuck at zero, the hidden social pressure making it worse, and 3 real ways to actually break the pattern, starting today. So let's get into it. Part 1. The invisible hook. Here's a number that's going to surprise you. People earning over $300,000 a year, real high earners. 62% of them still struggle with credit card debt. 62%. That's not a typo. That's not people who don't make enough. These are some of the highest earners in the country, and most of them are still stuck in the same trap you might be in right now. There's actually a name for this: Henry. High earner, not rich yet. And here's the mental shift that explains everything. Income is a flow. Wealth is a stock. Think of it like a bathtub. Income is the water running in through the faucet. Wealth is however much is actually sitting in the tub. If the drain's wide open, it doesn't matter how hard that faucet runs. The tub stays empty. That's the whole trap in one image. Now that you can see the actual shape of the problem, let's break down exactly why the drain stays open. Because it's not one bad habit, it's 3 specific psychological traps working on you at the same time. And these are discussed in the part 2, the 3 psychological anchors. Trap number 1, the anchoring effect. This is when your brain quietly resets what normal spending looks like, based on what's around you, not based on what actually makes sense. You see everyone around you with a certain phone, a certain car, a certain vacation, and your brain stops asking, "Do I need this?" and starts asking, "Why don't I have this yet?" That's anchoring. Your baseline for normal quietly moves without you ever consciously deciding it should. Trap number 2, and this one's sneaky because it's built directly into your apps. It's called the pain of paying. Handing over physical cash actually triggers a small, real discomfort in your brain. That's a documented thing. But tap to pay, buy now, pay later, one-click checkout. All of that is specifically designed to remove that discomfort. When you don't feel the money leaving your hand, your brain barely registers it as a loss at all. That's not an accident. That's the entire business model. Trap number 3, lifestyle creep, or what psychologists call hedonic adaptation. Remember how amazing your first real raise felt? For about a month? Now that same income increase just feels like the bare minimum to survive. Your brain adapts to whatever level you're at insanely fast, then quietly resets your not enough line right back to zero. So you're never actually catching up. You're on a treadmill that speeds up every time you do. And here's the part that makes it so hard to notice. Each of these 3 traps is small on its own. One slightly nicer purchase here, one tap-to-pay checkout there, one tiny upgrade you barely register. None of them feel like a decision in the moment, but stack them month after month, year after year, and they quietly become the entire reason that bathtub from earlier never fills up, no matter how hard the faucet's running. If any one of those 3 just described your life a little too accurately, that's actually a really good sign. It means you're about to understand something that's been running in the background this whole time without you noticing. Go ahead and hit like right now if that's you, because trust me, you are nowhere near alone in this. Now here's the thing. These 3 traps don't just happen in a vacuum. There's a social layer sitting on top of all of it, quietly making everything worse, which will take us to part 3, the middle-class social tax. Here's what almost nobody says out loud. A huge amount of debt isn't about things you actually want. It's about signaling a status you haven't actually earned yet. A nicer car than you can really afford. A vacation you post before you've even paid it off. That's what some call identity debt. spending money specifically so other people perceive you a certain way, even if your actual bank account tells a completely different story. And here's where it gets worse than it's ever been in human history. The social media. Every single day, you're scrolling past a highlight reel of everyone else's best moments, and your brain doesn't process that as here's their curated highlight. It processes it as, this is just normal life, and I'm falling behind. That constant, invisible comparison creates a kind of pressure that didn't even exist a generation ago. And a lot of debt today is quietly fueling somebody else's highlight reel while draining your own future. Okay, so now you've seen the 3 traps and the social pressure making them worse. Here's the honest question. Knowing all of this, does it actually change anything? It does, but only if you use the right tools. And that's exactly where we're headed next in part 4. The escape hatch. First, the 24-hour friction rule. Before any non-essential purchase over a certain amount you set for yourself, wait 24 hours before buying it. That's it. That single pause reintroduces the pain of paying that Tap to Pay specifically removed. Most of the time, the urge just quietly fades on its own. Second, try a cash-only experiment. Pick one category, food, entertainment, whatever hits you hardest, and spend only physical cash on it for 2 weeks. Watching the actual bills leave your hand reconnects your brain to the real physical reality of money in a way a screen simply can't. Third, and this might be the most important mindset shift on this whole list, try what's called an anti-budget. Instead of tracking every single expense and feeling restricted, you do the opposite. The moment your paycheck lands, an automatic transfer moves your savings out immediately, before you ever see it in your checking account. Then you're free to spend whatever's left without guilt. It flips the entire psychology. Instead of saving feeling like restriction, spending becomes the guilt-free part because the important move already happened automatically. If this genuinely gave you a plan and not just another guilt trip, drop a comment telling me which one of these 3 traps hit closest to home for you. I read every single one. So here's the real takeaway. You are not broke because you're bad with money. You're broke because your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do, in a world that's specifically engineered to exploit that. The anchoring, the pain of paying bypass, the hedonic treadmill, the social comparison. None of that is a personal failure. It's a system working exactly as designed on every single person who doesn't know it's happening. So be honest with yourself for 1 second. Which one of these 3 traps is quietly running your spending right now? Now that you can actually see it, you get to choose differently. If this helped you see something you couldn't see before, hit that like button and subscribe. This is Moneyphilia, and we're just getting started.